I'll tell you what was really wild was watching the explosion, I suppose, if that's the right word. It's not. I'm trying to think of a kind of really big word to describe your Stand By Me version that Adam Blank had at the print shop.
Yes,
that literally exploded when it came to the internet and YouTube, and that was the first thing that I saw. Stand By Me was one of my favourite, or is one of my favourite movies. It was the song from my wedding to my beautiful wife, Rebecca, but it was the Benny King version.
Mm-hmm.
For me.
Incredible version, by the way. It's the version. But
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was incredible. You're right about that. But personally, I think yours is better. I've never... That for me, and I'm trying to put it into words and contextualise it, which I'm struggling to do, was just absolutely phenomenal. When you sang that there on his show, did you know? Like, did you have the self-awareness to know, like, right, I have smashed this, and wow. Have you sung it like that before?
oh yeah, many times. I'd sung that song a lot in my living room. I used to go to these like bluegrass picking parties and stuff, and because that's what I was trying to figure out. When I prayed for a voice, I had to kind of start singing. So I went into these just kind of low pressure. Think of it kind of like sparring in a gym in front of 5 people. It's not a fight. It's a way for you to kind of test what you got. And so I went and kind of sparred with all these bluegrass players and, pickers and stuff. And I could play all that stuff. But a lot of those, you don't really want to play originals at those places because they want to play on something that everybody knows. And for some reason in my living room, I'd just been playing Stand By Me just like that. But I was kind of swapping out the majors for the minors and to me, and I don't really know why I was singing it for years, and mostly, like I said, just in my living room, just my coffee. But yeah, I felt like the song turned into, it took the kind of the romance out of it, because I wasn't singing it romantically. Perhaps, and I feel like the song was originally kind of rooted in romance in a lot of ways, at least to me, and maybe it was just more the style of which it was sung. To me, it was more of a plea, for unity, and I don't know why it came out that way, and there's this movie I watched as a kid called Stand By Me. Based off
River Phoenix.
Yeah, based off a Stephen King book, a novella called The Body. And that song scared the hell out of me my whole childhood. I don't know why. It's haunted me ever since I watched that movie. It literally has. And so I think that song has always just been subconsciously kind of down in the well. And was always just bubbling up, and I was just trying to get rid of it, if anything, or deal with the haunting nature of it. And I think expressing it in that way was was my only way of dealing with it. And then fast forward, my father dies, and that's when it really turned into a plea. So I was, devastated. Still am, but a couple weeks after he died, I was supposed to play this songwriting festival in Deadwood, South Dakota. Very spiritually charged area, and I was not going to do it because my dad had just passed away, and didn't make any sense to go out there and play this writers festival. But the guy who runs it, he's like, I know your dad just died. I know you got to be in just bad shape. But this is like a really healing place, and you don't have to sing songs. Maybe you just come out here and hang out, and, maybe nice to get out of your head for a little bit. And I hadn't slept in a week, and I was just in all kinds of bad shape, and I just agreed to it anyway. I was like, what do I have to lose? And I went there, and I ended up playing a couple songs, and at the very end of the festival, they had all the songwriters get on this stage, and they had like a house band, and and you had to play a cover, your favorite cover. What's your favorite cover? And I honestly don't know a lot of covers. I was never in cover bands, and I always just wrote and played original music mostly. And even from a kid, like when I was playing in high school bands, we didn't play covers. We instantly just kind of went into making up our own stuff, and it was terrible. But we were at least trying to. And but they did ask to play a cover, and I went into my hotel room and I said, hey, I got this cover of Stand By Me that I've been playing in my living room for years, and I went and recorded it on voice memo, and I sent it to the band, just so I was like, it's not like, don't listen to Benny King's version, because that's not how I play it at all. Listen to this version, because it's going to screw you up if you listen to the original version. And they were like, cool, we dig it. Easy for them to chart out. And so I went up there and to play it, and like I said, this was 2 weeks after my dad died, and I was in bad shape. And I went up there to play it, and I mean, that song like ushered me in to this life. Because I was kind of in transition between my old one. Because what they don't tell you about when someone like my dad dies, when someone, that figure, you die with them. Everything you know about yourself or thought you knew about yourself dies with them. And I was kind of in this transition of a rebirth, and I just needed some way to get out. And that song was like the deliverance, really. And when I played that song, it was like he was a kid on my shoulders. Like he was so present and light but heavy. I knew it was him, and it was a weird, like, reversal. And yeah, so that song, excuse me, on that night, it changed my life. It was like you are no longer him, now you are you. And yeah, going on that live at the print shop, I didn't really, I'd been doing that song ever since that night in different shows, and I've been trying to chase that feeling again. It was like a drug. It was really the reason I became an artist, because I was not an artist up to that night. But at that night, it was like undeniable. Like the whole place went crazy, like turned into a revival. It was like, if you were denying this, it was like my dad was slapping me over the head with it. Like, stop arguing with this and just do this. It's time. It's time to get to work. And so fast forward, a couple years later, I'm in this dude Adam Blank's basement, or in his little print shop. We played some songs in his basement, went out to his shed, and he said, hey, would you play a couple acoustic songs? You know anything, like just acoustic? And I was like, I do this weird version of Stand By Me. And that's literally all it was. And I just played it like I've always played it. I did not know that it was good. It was just like a simple little Focusrite recording operation. There was nothing fancy about it. It was just a mic and my guitar. And I just played the song. That's all I did, like I always have. And for whatever reason, when we put that out, it took off. It created a revival the same way as it did that night in Deadwood, South Dakota. So it doesn't surprise me that it's had its effect. Because it had its effect from the beginning. It was very undeniable. So, it's a bigger thing than me. It was a bigger thing than me then, and it's a bigger thing than me now. And yeah, that song is in so many ways healed me and helped me, and seems to help so many other people, because it is quite the plea. Everybody needs somebody to stand by them.